Today we need to get into JK's new song, Never Let Go, and what people are saying about it and why some people want it gone. And then we have people talking about Zionism and all that stuff. And then we have to get into a producer that people are very upset about because they feel like he erased all of BTS's achievements. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave. Decide hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. And make sure you're joining us fangirling on Patreon with some free content on Saturdays now, and let's go. The producer that everyone is upset about is none other than Simon Cowell, and I think this is very interesting because you don't often hear someone who is very much involved in British or English and American pop music to have something involved in K-pop, but here we are today, and I have a lot of things that I want to say about this. So first off, why were people upset at Simon Cowell and what's going on? He made a post where he was talking about the newest boy band that he is going to create. He had billboards up, he made very public posts about this. He's essentially looking for the next One Direction. And I don't know if he's auditioning people now, but I think if you go to the website or if you're interested or whatever it is, you can definitely look up how to audition if that's something you want to do. Although what I'm assuming is he's probably not going to be taking in Asian people. It's probably going to mostly be white people. But that's just my assumption. We won't know until we see it. But I'm not saying that this is something that he has done repeatedly, but I'm saying that this is something that the industry has done repeatedly. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. Now, in his very public post, he did mention that he had never seen another boy group surpass the level of achievement that One Direction had. Of course, you can imagine the type of backlash that he got when a lot of people were like, oh, but BTS has achieved that. And BTS actually broke numerous One Direction records. Things like the number of followers on social media, things like streams, all of that sort of stuff. And then just to kind of bring home the point that he was actively insulting BTS, and by the way, this is what the community has said, this is not what I'm saying. People were bringing up the fact that he has acknowledged K-pop before, and he has mentioned that he wanted to do a UK pop band. So he is aware of the K-pop stuff, and thus people are saying he is actively choosing to ignore BTS. Now, my opinion on this is a little controversial. I'm not defending him. He definitely shouldn't have said that. However, something that I find very interesting is that BTS is very much woven into American pop media. I think a lot of people, if you were to bring up BTS, they would know who you're talking about, or at least have some sort of image of who you're talking about. But I'm very surprised at how few people, how little they get brought up in mainstream media or just within the zeitgeist of pop culture. For example, like when I bring up BTS in normal conversation, people don't always know what I'm talking about or know the specific member that I'm talking about. The people who do know what I'm talking about typically are already big fans of the group. It's hard to find people who just are casual listeners that know exactly who I'm talking about, and I'm not saying that that doesn't exist. That is just in my experience in the larger picture. However, not to sound like a BTS hater, which I'm sure a lot of people will make me out to be anyway, Blackpink is someone that really doesn't matter who I bring it up to. People seem to know who I'm talking about, which is very interesting to me. Now, I'm genuinely passionate about this topic because it genuinely confuses me, because how do you get to the level of success that BTS has, but not a lot of people outside the fandom really talk about the group? Is it because they haven't had a huge meme about them? Is it because they haven't had extreme scandals about them that people care about? And global scale things like dating and that sort of stuff is not really going to get people to care. Maybe a lot of Korean people will care. Maybe a lot of people from other countries would care. No one in the US cares if celebrities dating someone. I say this because I feel like while Simon has probably acknowledged BTS even in the past, doesn't mean that he is someone that is keeping BTS in the forefront of his mind. The fact that it got published is kind of telling you that similar thing as well, is that most people just aren't thinking about that because the producer, whoever was filming the video, whatever, no one corrected him. He could have gone a different way with the campaign by saying he wanted to create the next big star to compete with K-pop. But this is also a reason why a lot of people don't even want to mention K-pop or BTS or whatever it is. If Simon had mentioned BTS, I bet you the whole Twitter sphere would be talking about how he is using BTS for clout or using BTS to promote his campaign. So he doesn't mention it and people get upset as well. Well, lately it seems like a lot of people are just upset about a lot of different things. There's a lot of stuff going on, and to be honest, a lot of people just aren't thinking about entertainment anymore. It's becoming more political. It's becoming more not as fun, I would say. I do like the days where the biggest thing that would happen would be a dating rumor or something that genuinely is just fun and silly. Nowadays, there is a lot of people talking about how there is Zionism within JK's lyrics, and they're protesting his new songs, thinking that there would be such lyrics in them as well. JK did write his newest song, Never Let Go, but he did talk about how the song was about his community and how he is never going to let go of his community. So we know that it's probably not going to be about anything political or anything that has any Zionism references. People were saying that if it is, they would prefer that the song not exist anymore and they would want to delete it or protest it or whatever. Now, what is extremely interesting to me is the people who are protesting JK, I'm not sure what they're protesting about. Are they actually JK supporters, or what is the reason that they're protesting? They frame it as Zionism. They frame it as not wanting genocide, and they don't want JK to be associated with that, which is beautiful, right? Of course, you don't want your favorite celebrity, you don't want anyone that you know to be associated with these things. But if they were actually upset over Zionism, then think about all the stuff that they buy that is probably coming from Zionists. Think about all the other things that are happening in the world that they probably partake in, that are either run by Zionists or come from Zionists. Jewish people are everywhere. They literally run America. This is why this whole movement has been so big. There is no freaking way to avoid buying anything created by Zionists. And I say this because if you're protesting JK over his lyrics and the stuff that he makes, why? Why not protest about everything? It's always very pick and choose type of thing, and I'm not exactly sure why pick and choose this. If someone could explain that, that'd be great. Honestly, I haven't heard any specific answer that I believe makes a lot of sense. So I will keep saying this because it doesn't make sense to me. There's also a lot of protests around the release of his song, and people are very upset with what's going on. One of the first things that I saw was the label statement talking about the release. So they made a post saying that the song was for JK fans, and they kind of explained what the song was about, all of that stuff. So is this for the rest of the community? Is this not for all of the BTS fans? To this I have to say, how sensitive do you have to be? I try to be as sensitive as I possibly can, but just because it says it isn't for you, or it doesn't even specifically say it isn't for you, it just says it's for this one specific group of people, doesn't mean that it's not for you. It's music, it's art. If you enjoy it, just take it. No one has to literally stand in front of you and say, this is for you. This is so silly. This is like saying if you're hungry and there's food outside, you're not going to go and get it because no one is standing there in front of you saying, this is yours. I'm not sure how some of these people are still alive if they're like, oh my God, this isn't for me, I'm just not going to touch it. The other thing that people were upset about was the lack of a teaser or lack of a rollout before the song drops. I mainly saw people upset over the fact that there is no teaser and then there's no specific rollout. The song could potentially flop or not do as well as they would hope because there might not be as much hype for it. I can definitely see the concern there because if there's no build up to it, sometimes people aren't aware. A lot of people in the community probably didn't even know, and if there wasn't a teaser and all that stuff, they probably wouldn't know until maybe like a day or two after. And so it can kind of screw up the streaming numbers. And also, of course, people want more content to watch and talk about. Now, there are a lot of backlash, even before the song came out, that are requesting the song to just be removed, or potentially even parts of the song be removed. And we don't even know what the lyrics is yet. And when this gets posted, it probably would already come out, but as of right now, we don't have any idea what the song is about. So to request any sort of deleting or being mad over it, over the rollout, and over everything leading up to it, doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks for the comment right here. Love you. Bye.